Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you, God. Um, and I have to be thankful, you know. And when they do things that are extreme, I'm gonna maximize that. Because what they don't understand is, and what they're doing is, there's a lot of trying to be credible or try to make you see them in a way that is positive, not even positive, that they can make sense. But when they go to an extreme, there's no going back. It actually helps me, even though it's disgusting, to see them the right way. And so I maximize this foulness that they do. Just like I maximize this kid acting like she's pretending that she's a 30-year-old. Like everything they do of that nature, of that level, it just helps me. It just really helps understand them for the trash that they are, and I can really zone in on them for what they truly are. And there is no games, and it's really gonna be a more like, just to understand, like, are you willing to go there? Because at this point I have accepted to go there, and I just know that I'm not gonna back out. They've been exaggerating what I did as a child, and always like increasing to the extreme level, another level. They've always tried to, they always disturb me, making me imagine disturbing things that were like not even what happened, but they're just an extreme level of it, an exaggerated level. I always thought, they're just doing that to break me down. I don't think they expect me to think that that really happened. Or I don't think they want me, like, they don't think that I'm gonna be like, it's really what happened. They just make me think this way because it's degrading. But today, they really are trying to push the things they've been trying to make me imagine that I did as a child. They've been, in the past, like every time I fingernail, like they would do things that make me imagine like I did something with some child with my fingers. It was so nasty. I'm like, oh, and that's how they used to break me down. But today, they literally want me to imagine that I truly fingered. And I'm sorry for using the language. When I was a kid, instead of doing what I did to myself, because the truth is, I did something to myself. What the act that was inappropriate of what I did as a child, it was something I did to myself. Now they want to actually make me think that I fingered somebody instead of what I did to myself. And I think what triggered or what pushed them to go to that level is the humiliating reality that they have no credibility. These trash are the pedophiles. When they manipulate me to have these disgusting experiences, they make me think, no, we map to you. That's how you felt when you were a kid. We match your brain to you as a kid. Which, what retardation is that? Of course, like, what do you mean? You're making my brain like a child's brain? No, you're just making me have these experiences, but you really want me to be accepting of this, as in, like, you made me retarded? Is that what you're saying? It doesn't make sense. It's clear that they manipulate me to have these experiences for the purpose of me to have these experiences, and then they want me to think that they're just mimicking my brain when I was a child. And what destroys them is, like, there was like this thing where they're reviewing all the different cases of these children who did things like murder, and neuroscientists were actually giving this argument that you cannot assess what these kids did as if they adult, because first of all, the brain of children are not the same. They provided an MRI imaging of the brain. Now, this is an extreme level because we're talking about murder, all right? They took the life of people. These people are no longer alive. This is not just in an appropriate act. They killed somebody. And we're talking about things that just drastically changed. Like, well, there's no life anymore. No one just changed the life. They took the life of somebody. So they would try to prove the point that kids' brain aren't the same as adults. And they easily were able to do that by just showing an MRI imaging of the brain. You don't need the MRI imaging of the brain to see that or to know that. These fucking clowns are saying that what's happened to me is they make me think the way I used to think as a child. First of all, it clearly is retarded. But what has made them furious is that they actually lost a lot of credibility, because over and over and over, the entities behind this program, the DOD, the intelligence community, have a problem with pedophilia. And I've always said this trash are in the realm of pedophilia. They're in the world of pedophilia. Pedophilia is like something like, it's like a tool, it's a lifestyle. They're very pedophilia centric. And they try to normalize it, by the way. And then this articles coming out, this bill introduced in 2019, all kind of showing the same pattern, consistent pattern. So what happens? You fingered her. Why? Because they try to exaggerate the inappropriate act that was impulsive to fingering. Because what I actually did is not that extreme. I did something to myself. And every time they do that, they try to Now, not only they are trying to exaggerate why there's a child, but these fuckers, this disgusting trash, not only are working for governmental entity with power and pedophilia of that nature, where they are here raping children and doing all this thing with child porn, they actually are harming children. Let me just say this again, they are harming children in this program. Many have died. This is why it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be a problem. I want them to trigger that, actually. In my mind, I'm like, please do it. Please see if I'm gonna go for it. Because I will. And I don't give a fuck how you present yourself. You've been humiliated that you guys are the pedos. And I love to put that in your faces. You've been humiliated. I know you torture children and women. Many have died, sexually tortured. And I know the horror. You've been humiliated that you are rewiring the brain this way, not only just for me, but others. You're humiliated that there's so much child porn circulating the DOD that a bill was created to stop them. You've been humiliated that I go around buildings here in offices here in New York City, it's saying Roy Moore and nobody says his name. I'm scared to say his name. You humiliate that I know that there's women who are abused and molested as children by their fathers and that target individual and being sexually tortured. Okay. Why would I do when I see you play your game? You'll be humiliated that people are saying like this intelligence community they lost their credibility due to so much pedophilia issue. They are here child abusing and all that. Well, this trash have to exaggerate what there's a child talk about now fingering. Okay. Yeah. Can't wait to see this trash. I pray that they be bold, because I'm gonna be very, very bold. Pray with your sister.